Thanks for tuning in to this week's installment of Ask a Yoga Question. Ask a Yoga Question is a weekly series on my blog, yogabycandice.com, where I answer yoga questions from readers. My girlfriend is going to be starting a yoga certification soon, and I want to help her on her journey. She has mentioned your blog to me many times, so I wanted to ask you for some recommendations for things she'll need during her certification. Can you tell me the best brands for yoga pants, bras, mats, and anything else she'll need? I want her to be prepared so she can get the most out of her experience without limitation from equipment. For yoga teacher training, the most important thing for me was a great notebook. I like this one by Moleskine. It's really durable on the surface, and you can just easily flip it open, write whatever you need to. And then at the back, there's a pocket that's expandable, and you can stick whatever informational things they give you in there. And it has a elastic that goes over it so things don't fall out. One of the other things I really liked at my yoga teacher training was bringing a blindfold. We did blindfold yoga practices, so that was really cool, but it was also great to use for Shavasana and really make sure your eyes are rested. This one's by Tempur-Pedic. I like it because it's adjustable, it's really heavy, and it kind of forms to your eyes so that even if you open your eyes, you won't have any light peeking underneath, so that's really nice. If your girlfriend's yoga teacher training starts really early in the morning and then goes all day, then it's possible that the temperature of the room will change throughout the day. So when I was doing my yoga teacher training, it was really cold in the morning, and I liked wearing layers to help me stay warm. I like these leg warmers because they have a footed bottom, so your heel will stick out and it covers part of your feet, which is really nice. They're pretty inexpensive too, around $7 or so. I'll put the link below. I also really like these socks, which will cover the whole foot, obviously, because it's a sock, but it goes up and over your knee, which is really nice. Not something to practice yoga in, but if she has a yin practice, or even if she's just sitting there listening to lectures and it's chilly, these will be really nice. Also recommend bringing a top for layering, just a lightweight sweater. This one's by Vince. I love it because it's crochet, so it's got a lot of ventilation, but it also is pretty warm. And lastly, for meditation and for just chilly rooms in general, I recommend bringing a scarf. I like this one. It's by Love Quotes. It's really cozy, and you can wrap it around a million times and stay really warm. I have a million different brands of yoga pants. My favorite ones are my really old Lululemon ones. They're the highest quality, unfortunately, of all the brands that I've tried. However, I do feel that their quality has changed, and I think they do make good yoga pants, but you might have some shear issues, so I wouldn't recommend them really right now. Two brands I wanted to highlight. One is Athleta. It's made by The Gap. It's like a sister company of The Gap or something, and they have excellent quality pants. So these are the Athleta pants. I think they run true to size. I wear extra small. They have really good stitching. As you can see, they're reinforced stitching, and it's opaque, so if you're bending over, you don't see anything. It also has a pocket in the front, so you can slip keys or whatever you need in there, and then it has a gusseted crotch. It's a triangle gusset, and I'm really picky about gussets because it's just more comfortable when you have one. What I like is Alo. These are really popular pants right now. They're called the Goddess, and they look like leg warmers, but it's just one long leg. They're really comfortable, and you can pull them up and over your knee so you have that leg warmer look, or you can pull them down over your foot if you're chilly and just trying to stay warm. These run true to size. This is a small, and it's a little bit too big for me. It has a pocket in the front. It has reinforced stitching, and it's completely opaque when you bend over. This is what the stitching looks like for that leg warmer look where it meets the spandexy part. It's not as much of a compression fabric as the regular part of the pant. It really is a lot like a leg warmer. And it has this ruching all down the side, so it makes it really easy to just pull up and over the knee or down and over your heel as you see fit. It has a gusset as well. It's a triangle gusset. And again, as I said, they're really high quality. I like them a lot. As far as yoga props, for yoga blocks, I recommend a cork block. They're pretty heavy, which can be kind of a drag if you're carrying them to and from the studio, but they're really high quality and they don't have much give to them, which is nice because I have a foam pair here and they're fine. I use them when I travel, but when you press in, they have a little bit too much give and I find that it can be irritating for my wrists. So I recommend a cork block and I'll put a link below. For yoga blankets, I like this one. It's just your traditional Mexican blanket. It's really thick, and so when you roll it up and then you use it as a prop, as you can see, like you put weight here and it doesn't smush down as say like a towel would. If your girlfriend has a component of hot yoga in her training and she needs a towel to go over the mat, I recommend this one by Yogi Toes. On one side it has these little rubber grips, and so when you lay it down flat, there's pretty much no way you can slip. You put a little bit of water under where your hands will be placed and where your feet will be placed, and then you for sure won't have any grip problems at all. And for bolsters, I have one by Hugger Mugger, which I love. I recommend getting a rectangular one like this. They sell them these big round ones as well, which is fine, but I think those are best for beginners because no matter where you are, it's always going to be round, so your back will always have that same openness. For here, if you put it like this, my back will be just lifted this much. But if I expand and improve my flexibility, I can turn it here and lie back, and now I'm even more open. So I like the versatility of this bolster. I also think it's really high quality. When you lay back on it, you don't sink, it's very firm. And the stitching is excellent, and the customer service is really good too. For yoga mats, I really like Jade Yoga. They make a harmony mat that's really great. I'll put the link. And I also like the Eco Light mat by Manduka, and I'll put a link below as well. Where I am currently right now, I have a Willicious Divine mat, which I really like. It's pretty pricey, but I really think you get what you pay for here. So on the back side, you have this perforated bottom. And on the front side, you have I believe it's a closed cell construction, and there's no slippage. Like I never slip with this, so I really like this one. Also has this mandala design at the front. I thought it was going to be kind of cheap at first, to be honest with you. I thought for sure with all the travel I do that the little crystals would fall off, but every single one is there. And I like it, it's just different. It holds up really well. It's a good thickness. It's not too thin, but it isn't too thick. You really kind of want to watch out for anything that's too thick because too much cushion can actually throw off your balance, or it might be too much for your joints actually. The last prop I would recommend is having a yoga strap. Most yoga straps are, I don't know, for the most part, I don't really see too much of a difference. The only thing you might want to look out for is what kind of buckle it has. I prefer a metal buckle, it's just personal preference. Plastic ones work just as well. And I'll put a couple links below for brands that I've tried and recommend. How do you know you're ready to start practicing crow pose? Are there prerequisite poses or skills you should have mastered first in order to avoid injury? Crow pose is one of those poses that I find a lot of people use as a transition from the beginner stage of being a yoga student to an intermediate stage. So you kind of know you're ready when you're getting a little bored or you feel like your practice might have hit a plateau and you're starting to feel like you have a good amount of upper body strength, you have a good amount of core strength, and you're just ready to try something different. You trust yourself. So for crow pose, you want to make sure that you have a lot of hip opening. When you come into it, your knees need to be as far up the arms as they can. If your knees are down here, it probably means you're not ready because the hips aren't open enough. The knees need to be above the elbows at the very least so that you can come forward and bend at the elbows, look ahead, and then maybe pick one foot up, maybe the other. Short arms seem to be a problem for me in many poses, including crow pose. Do you think that's true? No, I don't think short arms are a problem for crow pose. I hear that a lot, And I think that one of the best ways to look at it is to look at a pose, but from a different perspective. So let's take crow pose for example. For crow pose, we're on our hands and looking forward and lifting up. Let's take this same exact pose, but instead of being on our hands, come to sit. So your arms are out in front. This will be the floor, imagining that this is the floor. Your arms are here, your arms are strong, and the hands are shoulder distance, fingers are spread. You want to have your knees as far up the elbows as you can, as far up the arms as you can, at least above the elbows. Round your back, then lean back, sit back, lift your feet, and hold. If you can do this, you can do crow pose. I was pretty sure I had decent shoulder flexibility, but when I tried to make necessary rotation and movement to come into king dancer pose, my shoulder was completely blocked. What poses and stretches do you suggest to focus on to increase shoulder flexibility and opening that are needed to come into Natarajasana? For shoulder flexibility for flipping the grip, I'll just demonstrate in pigeon pose. You asked about dancer, but I have a post coming up on dancer and I don't want to show the exact same thing twice, so we'll do pigeon pose. Knee will bend, you'll reach back, and then you just take it to the outer edge of the foot and then flip. And it's a really, really intense stretch. I'm feeling this in my shoulders, down my chest, down the side body, all along the hip flexor. The stretches that you can do to open up this whole area. So it's not really just the shoulders. You want to make sure you're really open in the hip flexors as well. Since you asked about the shoulders, I'll go into it. I like Gomukhasana, cow face pose, and you can do it like this. Sit tall, bring the one arm up, bend at the elbow, then reach back. Maybe your hands will meet, and you can hold here, bringing the hands in line with the spine. Maybe you want to use a yoga strap, just letting it hang down, reaching back and grab hold wherever you can. The idea here is to have your chest as open as it can be. So you don't want to be here. You want to be open, the top elbow pointing up to the sky, the bottom elbow pointing down. You just want to stay and be open here. So that's just for the chest. If you want to work a little deeper in it, you can stack the hips, stack the knees. Take your stance with your arms, get really tall, and then come forward super slowly. Again, imagining that your chest is staying open, your back is staying really long. This is a good hip opener, but it's also really great for the chest as well. The other thing I like to do is to take a yoga block, or you can even do this at your kitchen counter. Bring your arms out in front, and then just let your upper body hang heavy. And you'll feel a good stretch right in here opening up. Thanks for tuning in to this week's installment of Ask a Yoga Question. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have a yoga question, feel free to ask it in the comment section below or over on the yoga forum, forum.yogabycandice.com. Hang on. I want her to be I don't know what these are called. No, I don't think short arms are a problem. Unless they're like extremely, extremely short.
It's right here, really cool.